Hey, Sean here from Trucking Life with Sean, and I'm bringing you a live video. Right now I am let's see, that camera's not picking up too good. Let me fix this camera real quick. There we go. Can y'all see better now? Good deal. I'm bringing you a live video. I'm on my way into work this morning. I'm actually in Rome, Georgia. I'm driving in my personal car, and I wanted to bring you a video this morning and talk to you about driver trainers. And the situation that we're having is almost an epidemic here in the world of good and bad trainers. So if you're new to my channel and you're out there driving a truck, you might want to watch this video. If you're a new driver, you might want to watch it. But today's video is mainly about trainers and how to be a good trainer and teach new students and bring them in and being a good mentor and a good coach. That's what today's video is all about. So, but first off, I want to let you know Trucking Life with Sean is now sponsored by Connect Now. Connect Now makes Bluetooth headsets. They make everything you need, nothing that you don't. So if you need a good Bluetooth headset, make sure you check out the link below in the video. You can get a Bluetooth headset for the right price at the right place. So check it out. Good morning, Brian Walton. I see you watching this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Let me know where you're at. And if you're driving a truck, let me know what company you work for. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. I put out videos. I try to put them out every day, trying to teach you something that the. But today's video, like I said, is about truck driver trainers. I'm a truck driver trainer. I've been driving for 16 years, but half of my 16 years, 8 of those years, I trained new drivers. Some I trained right out of school. Some I just did evaluations on. Now I have the honor to actually work at a trucking company where I'm over the trainers, or you call them coaches or mentors, so I can kind of try to make a difference. In the beginning of my career, I was put out there as a trainer and I wanted to make more money. And unfortunately, but it's the fact of life, is people become trainers to make more money. But there's also a whole lot more to that, and that's what I learned over the years, is how to be a good trainer. And I want to talk to you about that, because a lot of companies out there, they'll put trainers in a seat that's really not ready to train. They don't have the experience, they don't have the knowledge, and they don't have the right attitude and the right person. Not everybody out there can be a truck driver trainer. Good seasoned drivers, but they're isolated people. So when you put somebody else in the truck with them, they clash and it doesn't work out right. So if you're out there and you're a manager of a trucking company, or you're in a position where you can choose to become trainers, please choose those wisely and make sure that you're putting out good coaches and good mentors, and follow up on them and watch them and do the follow-ups afterwards, because it's very important. You say, why is it important? Well, number one, it's good for business. Number two, the trainee, the student out of school, their career, and especially with the company they're working for, really depends on that trainer. It has a lot to do with them, but their trainer can mold them to be a good truck driver or a very bad truck driver. So it's important to pick the right people to go in the right places. And sometimes, I've had coaches on here on the board since I've only been doing this inside for about 4 months, and I've had one or two that that had to take off the board, and that may be the case. They were good truck drivers, but they just wasn't a good trainer. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to go over with you today. I want to go over some tips and tips on like how to become a good mentor. If you're interested in becoming a trainer, here at Rosedale Transport, we do hire trainers, we do hire coaches, and you have to have the experience, but they do hire, but we only want the best of the best. And why is that? Because we want to make the best of the best driver. Schools right now are putting out, and everybody knows this, it's not nothing that's hidden. Schools are like, the CDL schools are like mills. They're producing drivers that just get a CDL and they get out here on the road, and that's all they know is they got their CDL, they passed the test, but they're not truck drivers. So it's on us as truck driver trainers to show them the ropes and to show them the right way, so that way we can have safer drivers out on the road. A lot of drivers, y'all know out there, you're driving, you're like, God, where did that guy get his CDL from? People doing stupid things. You'll run across people wearing flip-flops. You run across people, you see wrecks, you see accidents and unnecessary stuff. And we want to blame the CDL schools, but the fact is the CDL school is just getting their CDL. They're not making them a truck driver. They're just getting a CDL. Whether we like that fact or not, that is the facts. They're just getting a CDL. So when they go to a company, companies out there, y'all, I don't know if you're watching, if you're in management at a company, or if you're just a truck driver, or if you're a truck driver trainer, but we have a higher duty or a sense of honor to train these truck drivers to be truck drivers, to keep our roads safe, to keep people from dying and having wrecks and all these sorts of things. So it really starts at the CDL school, but then after that, it starts with their mentor. It starts with their driver trainer. And over the last 2 years, since I've been doing this YouTube channel, I've had so many people, good morning, Georgia Rob. I've had so many people call me, send me messages. Oh my God, I'm going through a nightmare right now. This trainer I've got is awful. He's in the back sleeping. They've literally called me and said, look, Sean, I'm about to go down these mountains in the Rockies, and I cannot wake my trainer up. And I'm like, seriously? But this was more than one person. I've had several people call me saying their trainer was asleep, and they would rely on me for advice, which I don't mind giving. If you want my phone number, I'll give it to you. You can have my email. I don't mind giving out the advice, because I feel like it's our duty as experienced truck drivers to help these other truck drivers. Yes, we become trainers to make money. I get that. But the sense of, the good feeling to watch a driver succeed and make it is a good feeling to me. And it should be a good feeling to you. If you're in it just for the money, then maybe you shouldn't be a driver trainer. To me, it was a sense of duty. It's a sense of honor. And that's what it should be. We should be held to higher standards as truck driver coaches. Now, that being said, you're going to get drivers out there that are just slobs. You're going to get drivers out there that are annoying, that get on your nerves. And you got to watch for these signs. Here, if you get a person that's just terrible, I'm not going to make you keep them. You call me and say, look, this guy, I cannot deal with this guy. He's got an attitude. He's not listening to me. He's one of those know-it-alls. I won't make you keep him like that. So it's very important. Good morning, Joe. Good morning there, Carolina. Good morning. So it's very important that you as a driver coach or a driver trainer watch for signs like this. Not everybody is going to make it. But the thing is, you've got the honor and you've got the duty to let me or whoever you're working for at the time know that, hey, this driver's gotten issues. They may be a very likable guy, but in the end, if they're going to kill somebody and you sign off on that, you're signing off on that. So trainers out there and coaches out there to listen to me, whoever company you work for, you want to make sure you're producing good quality drivers, and not everybody's going to get that. That's one thing you've got to accept. Earlier in my career, I thought that, I had to get everybody through, and I would do my best to get them through. And then certain companies would just want to just sign off on them and just put them in the truck once they completed a certain program. But it's more than just completing a certain program. Is can they actually do it? Can they actually succeed? Now, at first, they're not. You've got to have patience. So let's start from the beginning, y'all. When a driver gets in the truck with you, I always like getting their phone number first, and I like calling them up front, and I like letting them know, hey, this is the situation we're going to have. We're going to be out this long. We're going to be, you need to bring this amount of stuff. You don't want a driver pulling up and bringing 5 suitcases and 3 toolboxes. They don't know no better. And some of them don't know. So here at Rosedale, I'll actually give the coach their phone number before they go out so they can kind of meet. When you get them in the truck, drivers, you got to remember, they have not been behind a wheel. They ain't been driving 600 and 700 miles a day. Good morning there, Mike. How you doing, buddy? They haven't been driving all this time, and they're not even used to sleeping in a truck. So you're going to have the first few days, This is the way I done it. Now, every person is different. Every trainer is different, but I'm going to tell you how I do it. When I got somebody in the truck the first day, I want to kind of break the ice. I want them to get used to me. I want them to get used to the truck and the lifestyle. If they want to drive a little bit, I'll let them drive a little bit the first day. I may even let them drive a little bit the second day. But I wanted them to get used to sleeping in the truck and let them know that, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you. And we're going to get through this, because they have a lot of nerves too. A lot of them are coming out with, they're new to this. So you've got to realize, coaches, that they are not ready to drive 600 miles. Now, some will get out there and they can do it. But at first you want to build that friendship or that the relationship, I guess the business relationship that you're going to have with them. You want to build that. You always want to show that you're there to help them and let them know. You're going to get drivers that have bad attitudes. You're going to get drivers that think they know it all. I would rather train a driver that knows nothing than a driver who thinks he knows it all. Now, how do you deal with know-it-alls? Well, first of all, you've got to let them know it's your truck. At first they may say something. Oh, I know that. I know how to do that. I always try to break the ice, and I say, hey, it's okay. You may already know how to do it, but I'm like a robot. I'm going to repeat this stuff over and over again. Hey, there's a red light coming up, and they may snap back. I see it. Well, you try to show them that you're not there to, you're not there to boss them. You're there to guide them, and you're there to teach them. And sometimes that attitude changes. Sometimes you get drivers in there that come in here and they want to show you they know everything. And that's just the type of personality they are. So you're going to have to learn the different personalities of people. You'll got some people in there that are yes mans that'll just say yes, yeah, I agree. They're not even listening to you. So you'll have to, over time, driver coaches, you're going to learn the different personalities of the drivers. That being said, you also need to look for telltale signs. Okay? And these are mistakes that I've made, and I don't mind sharing my mistakes because I believe that's how we learn. I'm not afraid of making mistakes, but when I make a mistake, I want to learn from it and I want to guide from it. I don't want to make a mistake that's going to destroy me. So let me tell you some mistakes that I've made that you can maybe not make either. So I had a driver that I trained, and he was never really ill with me. But when we went into restaurants and different things, he was always rude to the waitress. He was always just nasty. And I see him on the phone. He was talking to, I guess, his different friends and family, and he was just really ugly and mean and cut people down, and he didn't show any respect. And I seen that, but he was a decent driver, and he made it through the course. And I did report back that, he had an attitude, whatever, but I didn't push the situation. Well, what happened was he come out, and then he ended up getting kicked out of a shipper. He got banned from a shipper, not one, but then he went to another one. It was a person, and they ended up getting into it with this person. Ended up getting in a fight. This was years ago, but ended up getting in a fight at the shipper's office. And of course, he lost his job, and he ended up getting arrested and things like that. But those were signs that I could have seen from a long time ago. And till to this day, I feel, I'm kind of responsible because I put him out there. I signed off on him. So don't make the mistake on that. You're the eyes and the ears of the people that Rosedale's hiring or whatever company you're working for, and you want to produce good drivers. Now, that being said, I want y'all to go through every day and remember that you're leading by example. Example is what you're leading by. You are the driver coach, so they're going to see what you're doing. If you're a nasty slob in your truck, they're not going to respect you. Okay, your truck needs to be clean. It needs to be nice. You need to be well organized, because a well organized truck driver is going to be a successful truck driver. If you've got papers everywhere in your truck and stuff everywhere, you don't want to do that. So if that's the way you've lived and you want to change and you want to be a coach, you need to change those lifestyles, because you don't want them getting out there and doing that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want them to get out there and start making those type of mistakes by don't be a slob. Pull over and take showers. Another thing I had with some of my trainees is some of them didn't want to take showers. Well, I said, hey, bud, we're going to take a shower. I'm taking a shower every day. I know there's some days that we couldn't, but it's good practice to hygiene and good hygiene with it. Now, there's ways to handle that. You don't have to say, hey, driver, you stink or whatever. Can be. But I always say, hey, look, man, we're getting a shower. Every day it's President, this is what we're going to do. Come on, let's go. Another thing you might not want to remember is some of these drivers don't have a lot of money. And I know it's not your job to support them, but they are coming. Some of them don't have any money, and they may not have the hygiene that they need. They should, but I've had cases where they really just was broke. So I always kept extra shampoo, extra soap. I even carried extra socks in my truck. I had a driver that, it's one of the worst is when you get home with stinky feet, and sometimes they can't help it. You know, they'll bring the big work boots with them, and then they take them off at night, and I'm like, oh my God, Lee. And I'll be honest with them, I'm like, hey man, you gotta put them boots outside. Hey, you need some new socks? You know, I give them new socks. And then I always cooked in my truck, and then, you know, I'd always have little food left over if they wanted some, or I'd offer if they wanted to pitch in and buy some groceries with me, they could. So you want to be that person, and you want to be that shining light, because they depend on whether they're gonna succeed has a lot to do with you. So you got to take that honor. Yes, you're gonna make more money by doing it, but have a sense of pride in yourself that, hey, you know what? This is it. I've got trainees, I'm not bragging, but I've got trainees that still call me to this day from years ago. They'll call me and say, hey man, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Some of them not even trucking, but we're friends. We built a relationship that they can remember, and I learn off of them. Now, also being a trainer, you want to be very safety conscious. It'll actually make you a better truck driver, because if you're driving safe, and I know when the mouse away, the cats play, right? Well, or the cat's away, mouse play. I said that backwards. But when you got somebody in the truck, they're watching you. So I expect all my driver coaches and all the mentors here at Rosedale, y'all need to be in the 90s in the Samsara score. I do not want to see any of y'all in the 60s and 70s, because that means telling me that you're speeding, you're following too close, and you're not leading by example. So when these safety reports come out Saturday, I need all my driver trainers, and especially the trainees you're driving with, they should be in the 90s. I expect no less, because if they're driving, you shouldn't let them speed. You should not be letting them hit the hard brake, or you shouldn't let them be falling too close. So that's going to fall back on you. So if you've got a trainee while they're in the truck, then once they get out of the truck, it's not on you. But while they're in the truck, you've got a duty to make sure that they're doing it. And that will help them over the 6 weeks. If they're constantly running at that speed limit and not over that speed limit, they're going to develop habits of good driving. It takes 30 days, okay, in anything for a habit to become normal. Whether it's working out, whether it's walking, whether it's drinking just water, whether it's making your bed every day. You do something for 30 days in a row, it gets easier. So when we're out here training or coaching for 6 weeks, by the time they get out of that truck, they should be in the 90s. The drivers that we have in the Samsara scores that are in the 60s and 70s, these are a lot of old-time drivers that's developed bad habits over years. Maybe they didn't have a good driver coach. Maybe they didn't have a good driver mentor. And maybe they just developed it on their own. But it starts with us guys as trainers and as coaches. It starts with us, and we can change the trucking world, not just here at Rosedale, but a lot of places. You know, when I'm out here driving, I've got my mama out here, or I did, she's passed away now, but you know, somebody's mama's out here driving, somebody's dad, somebody's daughter, somebody's son, and the trucks, we're on the highway, and a lot of fatalities happen every year. Again, let's develop good quality truck drivers. Okay, let's do that. That also starts with our pre-trips and our post-trips, right? Pre-trips and post-trips. I know it gets sometimes monotonous, but it's so important to get out there and do that pre-trip every day. But if you're a driver coach and you're skipping pre-trips, guess what? The trainee is going to skip pre-trips and post-trips. If you're letting stuff slide and you said, yeah, that tire's bad, but we got to get this load down the road, guess what? They're going to do the same thing. And guess what you're going to do? Y'all drivers are going to go pick up a trailer somewhere. It ain't going to have a mud flap on it. It ain't going to have a busted headlight. And y'all going to call me your safety and say, man, some driver just dropped this down here like this, man. Why they do that? Well, if you're a driver trainer, did you drop it in front of somebody? Did you lead by that example? It's crazy. But we are at the beginning of it. It's just like kids when they go to school at a young age. If they're brought up not taught right, that's how they're going to live. They follow their parents, their mom and their dad, how they acted, and they usually become that. So remember, you've got to get out there every morning, go through that pre-trip with them, go through that post-trip with them. Now, after the first week, they should be doing a whole lot more driving. By the third week, they should be doing most of the driving. And definitely by the 6th week, they should be running 500 or 600 mile days. I've always said, lazy trainers produce lazy drivers. So if you're a driver out there and you're only running 1,200 miles a week, I ain't putting you on my board. I'm wanting the heavy hitters, the drivers that drive 3,000 miles a week and they're consistent at it. Those drivers are going to produce heavy hitter drivers. Drivers, when I train, they come off the board. I remember the operations manager at the time used to say, hey, Sean, he said, your trainees are turnkey. I said, what do you mean? He's like, man, they come off the road and they're hitting 3,000 miles a week right off the rip. They're turnkey because they're ready. Because I put them through it, almost like a boot camp, but I put them through it. I didn't just sit back there and do everything for them. I made them do the pre-trips, post-trips, walk around with them. I show them the right way. Show them different scenarios. I show them different instances. You want to also teach them communication. Okay, that is very big. And you especially know here at Rosedale, closed mouths don't get fed. You've got to teach them communication. Just because you may know your dispatcher and may know your runs, and maybe you've been with them so long that you've already got a setup, you've already got something going. Well, they haven't. So they've got to learn to communicate and communicate effectively, to call their dispatch. Let them know, hey, once I get 300 miles from my load or I'm on my way, let them know what time I'm going to be there, what time I'm not going to be there. Another thing that I've been seeing lately is, and I'm not in dispatch, but I've heard from drivers where loads were failed because the dispatcher just put them on the load. And they didn't look at their hours of service because they're a new driver. And they just think, well, if the dispatcher's going to give it to me, I should make it. That's not always the case. I call it managing your dispatcher. Had a driver of the day, got a load, it was 700 miles. He was walking out, and I said, hey, where you headed to? He said, I got to be in Miami by 7 a.m. I said, that's 720 miles. It's 12 o'clock. You're not going to make it. And he's like, well, I didn't think so. And I looked at it and I knew the load. I said, that's a tight load. I said, that's a live unload and they won't take you. They'll put you off. So he went back in there and they looked at it. They said, oh, wow. They called the place and the place said they couldn't take him until Monday. So he almost went down there and got stuck. So what I'm saying is driver trainers, you've got to teach them, how far they can go and what they can do so they can learn that and so they can communicate with their dispatcher and let them know that if they can't make the load, don't be scared to tell the dispatcher that they cannot make it. You need to tell them, hey, I can't make it, just so when you can make it. Because it's important to a company, and our company, that we service these loads right. It has to be a relay. And maybe it needs to be maybe they need to swap it with a different driver or go halfway and somebody coming up and get it. There's a lot of tools that operation has that they can use, but it all starts back with good communication. So driver coaches, you've got to teach the communication. As a driver trainer, you look at something you're like, yeah, I can't make that. But a new driver may not know that. So you need to teach them how to average their miles. I always average it about 50 miles an hour. If I've got 500 miles to do, that's 10 hours, with my little breaks and stops. But yeah, can I do it quicker than that? Probably, but you want to average it at 50 because you got stops and traffic. You want to give leeway. You want to give leeway for stuff to happen. You don't want to just average it at 65 miles an hour. Stuff happens. You got blowouts. Like Mike yesterday, he was on the road. He had some mud flap issues, I believe. Things happen. But you need to teach them to be aware of that. Teach them to manage that clock. Teach them to utilize the shippers and receivers on where to park and when to park. Teach them when to slow down and when to go and when to say no. You want to make sure you're showing them about the traffic. You want to make sure you're teaching them about how to, not just safety, but how to, maybe you want to trip plan not to go through traffic. Maybe you want to stop early or stop later. These are very important things that needs to be taught to our drivers. But, you know, I teach some in orientation, but orientation, they're only going to attain about 20% of that in 3 days. It's going to be on y'all coaches to pass that mantle. There's no reason you should be back in the sleep in the bunk while the driver's driving. You know, we pay definitely well at Rosedale for trainers and coaches. You got to be up there with them while they're driving. You don't want to be back there sleeping. And like I said, I've had terrible calls from a lot of companies where they'll run them as teams, where the driver is driving during the day and the trainer's back there sleeping. And then he wakes up, he's like, oh, my turn, and he drives. That's not the way it should be done, but unfortunately it's done like that at a lot of different companies. There's a lot of companies that train like that, and it's not cool. So driver trainers, you want to make sure you're pulling over and going to sleep for your own safety and so that they can learn. So pull over every night, go to sleep, take your breaks as normal. Now, as far as the paperwork goes, you need to let them scan in all the paperwork every single time. They need to get used to that. Yeah, Frank, you get paid empty miles here at Rosedale. You get paid empty miles and loaded miles. But now you want to make sure they scan in all your paperwork. Scan it in, scan everything in. When you go into a shipper, have them going with you. Make sure they're doing those things. The pre-trips, their post-trips. I have them start calling into the dispatchers too. Getting used to talking to the dispatcher. This is important. I know these sounds like little small things, but these little small things make big things. Now, in the beginning, like first week, I'm gonna go back, and I'm going back and forth, but in the beginning, and the first week, if it was raining, or I wouldn't let them drive, and at night I wouldn't let them drive, just in the first week, and I wouldn't let them drive in heavy traffic. I wanted them to see how I train in the first week, and then after that, then I'm gonna put them through the rain. I'm gonna put them through traffic. I'm gonna put them through mountains. I'm gonna put them through snow. I'm put them through whatever the situation. I'm gonna put them through it. But also be aware of your drivers. Some trainees are going to say that they want to drive. They drive sleepy. They say that they're not driving sleepy, but they don't. My trainees will say, hey, don't drive sleepy. Don't drive sleepy. I say that to them all the time. Because some trainees are going to get in the truck and they're going to feel like they got something to prove to you. So you got to watch them. They'll be over there and they'll be nodding off. Oh, boy, whoa. Oh, yeah, I'm good. Like, nah, you just nodded off. Like, you need to swap with me. So don't be afraid of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I see that, Brian. Take care of them, big dog. Take care of them. So anyway, so all we're trying to do is just produce good drivers. And that's what every good driver, trainer, or coach out there, no matter who you work for, should do. If you're a trainer with a company and they're making you run teams, I wouldn't train for them. I'd say I'm not doing it, it's not safe. Another thing that I want to suggest out there, and this doesn't happen here at Rosedale, but I want to go ahead and suggest this out there. If you're a female trainee, you should never go out with a male trainer, or vice versa. If you're a female trainer, you shouldn't train male drivers. That is my position. I think nothing good can come from that. CR England had a lawsuit about something that happened a while back, and I've made it a policy here that we don't cross-train like that. And I just don't think that, even if the guy's good and the girl's good, you never know. You don't want to let your good be spoken evil of. So trainers out there, I would not advise to train the opposite sex. You just shouldn't do it. And this is a good rule to stick by. I've never done it, and I never will. Doesn't matter, you know, how good a person I may be. You never know what somebody may say or think or feel or anything like that. So it's best just not to do that. So anyway, so I appreciate y'all watching my channel this morning. I hope that I've helped you out a little bit. I hope that I've encouraged you a little bit to be a good driver trainer. let's talk about, before I end, there's a few more things I forgot about. Let's talk about backing. Let's talk about backing. When you're out there and you're training a trainee, you should never be in the truck with them. You should always be outside the truck. I tell all my coaches not to do that. We're not going to do that here at Rosedale. At the beginning, nobody told me how to teach backing, so I didn't know. So when I first started training 8 years ago, I've been driving, not 8 years ago, I started training right when I started, but eight of my 16 years I was training, but I didn't know how to teach backing, so I'm in there like, turn left, turn right, turn left, turn right, and it would confuse them even more. So I would get them out there and I would let them practice, but I wouldn't let them hit anything. The guy that's mentoring me right this second, teaching me some things, he says that he uses walkie-talkies, which is good, so they can stand in the back and they can do it like that. If you got a CB in a truck, you can go to a different CB channel, and I had a handheld CB one time. You can use things like that with not on 19s. It's not so distracting, but you can tell them where to go. They ain't got to say nothing back to you. You're just talking to them. But but don't yell at them and tell them, hey, turn left, turn right, right, left. You got to guide them, show them different things, and let them practice. Okay. Negativity is also a killer. Okay, I will get rid of a trainer or coach so fast if I find out that he's speaking negativity about the company, about his life, or anything in the truck, because it feeds us and infectious. So you want to make sure that you've got a good attitude. If you've got a problem with your dispatcher or a problem with the shop, or trust me, there's a lot of problems at every trucking company. Take that away from the trainee and handle it in a different way, instead of just raising hell about something, because you don't want them feeling bad, and you don't never want to yell at them about anything they got going on. You never want the trainee, if you see him that he's being distracted on something, don't let him do it. Again, it's all about developing good habits, and in return, guess what? You're going to be a safer driver because you're constantly talking about safety. How I become a million-mile safe driver is talking about safety every day. It just makes you safety conscious, and that's what we got to do. So drivers out there, I appreciate you watching my channel. If you got any value from this at all, please hit that thumbs up button, hit the like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. Right now we've got 83 people watching live. I've got 13 likes. If everybody would give a like right now, we'd have 80 likes. That would be awesome, but everybody has to hit the thumbs up. There we go, we got 14. Can we get another one? I need you to hit the thumbs up, but if you've already hit it, you can't hit it again or take it away. But there's 81 people watching right now. Can every one of y'all reach down and hit that thumbs up button? What that's going to do is going to help with the algorithm to spread this out, and you're going to help. There's 19. Thank you so much. It's going to go out to more trainers and more companies all over the world that can help train better. So you can make our road safer by hitting the like button. There we go. There's 21 likes there. Appreciate it. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. I know I'm not driving over the road now, but I'm still putting out videos and still trying to help with training. I still want to help you in any way possible. Just call me. You can email me, and I'll do whatever I can to help you. All right, we got 22 likes. There's a few people dropped off here, but hey, we ended up getting 24 likes. Can we get 6 more? We got enough people watching. We got 26. Can we get 4 more? I'd love to get 4 more likes, and I'm going to close this on out. Come on, y'all. Hit the thumbs up button for me. We're at 26. Well, I guess there's some of y'all just don't like the dang video, I guess. 27 likes. There we go. Let's get 3 more likes in here, and we'll close it out. But hey, before I close out today, y'all, I'd like to say a prayer for y'all. If y'all don't mind, if you're driving, please do not close your eyes and do not bow your head if you are driving, okay? Dear Heavenly Father, I ask you to touch everybody out there that's watching right now. I ask you to protect them and guide them. I ask you to give them a spirit of positivity, a spirit of peace. I ask you to go with them and help them train these drivers, help them mentor them the right way, protect them from any negative thing, God. Protect them from bad thoughts and from the evil one. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Hey, if you're out there and you don't know Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, I would ask you to ask Him to come into your heart right this second. Ask Him to forgive you of your sins. It's nothing like once you go to your knees and you ask God to forgive you and He washes away those sins. There's no greater feeling than that. Knowing that He's right there with you and that nothing in your past matters, because you're now with him and he's with you. And going forward, man, that's a great feeling. So please ask him in your heart today. He's real. If I didn't have Jesus in my life, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. God bless all of y'all. I will see y'all next video. It's Trucking Life with Sean, baby. Let's get it.